Yeah, so I am primarily a vocalist, but I do have some experience with music production. And when I expressed that, they told me that students in previous years had an interest, but there was never a teacher that was available to teach that kind of course. So only the students who had either prior knowledge or had access to certain materials were able to even try to engage in music production. So in teaching it, I'm hoping to make it more accessible to whichever students may be interested and willing to try. I'm really excited to show them like just some of the basics of music production and show them how creative they're able to be, even if they only have a computer and headphones.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, tell us about your background in music production then.
Like a lot of students with this, I just started trying things. So while I was in high school, my dad got a Mac computer. And one of the things that comes standard on a Mac computer is GarageBand. And
Oh, wow. Love
GarageBand,
it.
yeah, GarageBand is often used by producers. It's kind of like the first level music production program. And then they have Logic and Pro Tools, which is like literally what professionals use. But a lot of popular music has been made on GarageBand. A lot of producers from the beginning, that's where they started. So when I saw that my dad's computer had this program, I just kind of started playing around with it. I started making some of my own songs. And even while I was in college, I would do a bit of stuff like that, even though I was more focused on, finishing my music education degree. There was only one music technology course that was offered. So I took that, but it didn't give me a lot more information that I didn't already know from just playing around with the program. And since then, I've upgraded to using Logic a little bit more often. Um, and I've just kind of been playing around with it. So I haven't produced fully anything myself, but I think it's mostly because I focused a lot on my singing career and how much I've been singing, as well as my teaching career and how much I've been teaching. So I have taught people just kind of like the basics here and there, but I'm really excited to have the chance to show a whole group of students, not just the basics, but helping them, like guiding them in their production journey and in their songwriting journey, and just letting them be creative.
They will love you. Yes, because they are a lot of them are aspiring singer-songwriters. Yeah, I mean, I remember kids being very eclectic in their musical tastes, and a lot of them they wanted to write songs not in French or in Arabic, but in English, actually. So
Oh.
yeah, it's a very international group of students who has a lot of awareness of what's going on. Do you ever sort of guide a student, not just on the music production side, but on the artistic side, like say, well, what if we incorporate something in the song that represents where you're from, some local influence?
Every student is different, every process is different. So just from the beginning, I would approach it technically and see what they do with that. And then if I see them going too technical and kind of losing their creative freedom, then I'll be like, "Oh, how about you try putting a little bit more of yourself into this," or something like that. But then there are a lot of students who they get so into the creative freedom that they completely lose the technicality side of things, or they don't know the things that they have access to because they're so used to being their full creative self using 5% of what's available to them. So it just depends on the student, what they know, what they receive from what I start teaching, and then we'll just kind of go from there. But I'm definitely all for full creativity, full exploration, and for them to express themselves as much as possible.
And where currently are you based and what do you do professionally there?
So I'm located in Chicago. I teach at a high school and I also sing professionally around Chicago.
After my first visit to Tunisia, when I saw how much the students knew about the United States, but then started reflecting on how little people I would meet in the US would know about Tunisia, I
Yeah.
think, boy, we should figure out, how to bring something back. And so I guess my question would be, what are you hoping to bring back after the project? What will you bring to Chicago, bring to your work there when you come back from Tunisia?
I it's hard for me to say now just because I haven't been there yet, but
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to everything that I can receive while I'm there, um, from stuff that I will learn from the students. Because as a teacher, I always learn from my students. So I'm looking forward to what I will learn from this new batch of students that I've never met, as well as just, things within the culture, being in the new country and trying the new foods and hearing their music and just all the experiences that I'll have there, I'll definitely be bringing it back to my students here in Chicago. And I just really look forward to everything that I'll be able to experience.
Oh, well, yeah, me too. I'm excited about also some of the projects you might develop when you come back and ways of connecting students in Chicago, students in Tunisia, because
Yeah.
days with Zoom, there's a lot of possibilities of making people feel even like they're collaborating and working on something even in different countries.
Yes, and the digital audio workstation soundtrack that I'm hoping to be able to use, it's
Mm.
a collaborative digital audio workstation. So all someone would need is the other person's email address for them to access the same project, and then they can collaborate on it. So I feel like that's a really good way to connect students no matter where they may be.
I smell a future project. Yeah.